Hey guys, welcome back. Going into episode 3 of session 3, if I got the numbers right. And we've had just a delightful time of meeting, of Dove playing matchmaker with Edna and Dr. Loom. So the payoff will be in Hyde Park at the end of the week. We'll see.
It's one of my proudest role-playing moments.
I think Monsieur Joyeux and Miranda Russell can stand in the back swaying, singing "Matchmaker, Matchmaker, make me a match."
Who knew, though?
I did not expect that from Dove at all.
Yeah. How do you say Emma in Russian? I don't know what is that.
I have always, in my head, Dove has always been a charmer, and I think that he just loves picking on Dr. Lum. So when he had the opportunity to do that, to where he could both ply his trade and get him into a delightfully hilarious moment, he would do that.
He shoved him through the door.
The stars are in alignment.
There wasn't really much choice in the matter, unfortunately.
Like the doctor was going to act if I didn't.
No, he wasn't.
He was not. He was most certainly was not going to be acting.
I just love how he picks women up with charts.
Dude, that was
so smooth.
Insane. That was so insane. You actually charted it out.
The risk-reward analysis.
Oh, fantastic.
And he and for those at home, I think you guys actually saw it roll through on the Roll20 side. I might have recorded it, but he was ninja noting me saying that the notes he is writing right now have to do with Edna. So this was all like he had that cocked, locked, and ready to rock. It was so good.
God.
So good.
Always remember, kids. #, may I court your cook.
Life lessons.
That's right.
I want that to be a thing. #, may I court your cook.
So
right up there with hypothetical trees.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he wasn't sure that he was going to get a chance to use it, but he likes to be prepared. So
Yeah.
that's
Clearly,
right.
that's a good choice.
So now
do
we've
it.
had our fun. Now it's time to get back on task and actually like find these missing children.
Yeah.
In case we forgot that that's why we're here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Switching gears to hilarious next, making missing, possibly dead children.
That's just right. Yeah, 'cause, somebody was called here for a séance.
I was going there for a seance.
I was not pleased by that comment. That is scary.
So perfect. So perfect. Okay. So, all right.
6
So
months with people.
that's right. That's right. So
Seances I was supposed to have, I did not get paid for.
oh my gosh. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Serious face. Serious face. All right. Here we go. So you guys, you came out of the kitchen, hilarity ensuing. Dr. Lum, kind of stomping off a little bit, trying to collect himself, and then you hear the sound of a heavy thumping upstairs and a woman calling down in German, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a doctor to know that she's basically asking what's going on. And everybody cranes their head to look up the staircase, and you see a rather severe-looking woman in a closed-neck dress and very gray, grayish patterns that are all throughout the dress, and actually matches quite well the background that we're looking at right now in Roll20. Not the crumpled paper, but the little black with the symbols and stuff on there. Somebody might know what that's called. I don't know it. Damask. Thank you. Thank you. So she's standing there, and she has a wooden cane that she has. And that's obviously what she was making the noise with. And she's looking down with this, thin face and severe nose, and just looking down with her arched eyebrow. What is the meaning of all this noise in the house?
I'm gonna. My basic instinct is to let Nate handle this as the only ranking person here.
Okay. So the lieutenant looks up at her and says, "My good lady, we are investigating the missing children. Would you be of any assistance in this?"
The missing children, huh? Why has the authorities not been notified?
That's not necessarily your concern. We're here at the request of Mrs. Doyle.
That's good. Sorry, I tried not to laugh. Not my concern, eh?
No. If Mrs. Doyle hasn't informed you of it, then it's not your concern.
Very well. Then we'll have to summon the woman of the house, shall we not?
Let's do that.
So she stops and she says, shall you wait in the drawing room, please?
Of course.
Thank you. And like almost as an afterthought, she says, thank you, Herr Lieutenant. So she turns around and basically to just kind of takes a deep breath, lets it out, and then walks forward. And she disappears from upstairs. And later on, you hear some discussion going on, that sort of thing, and I don't know, what do you guys do? Do you guys head back into the drawing room, or are you guys going to wait in the hall, or what do you want to
do? Dove's instinct is to go where asked. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we go to the drawing room.
It might be the smart thing to not tease this woman any further.
Right.
It's also incredibly hard to be sneaky when you're a 7-foot-tall bear man.
This is true. This is true.
So okay, so you guys are heading back into the drawing room, and as you guys go back in, you find actually that the place has already been cleaned up. The dishes or whatever that were there, the teacups, that kind of thing. If you guys had been accepting beverages, I think you had like wine and that sort of thing. Has already been picked up, and you see the one that you know as Carolyn is heading out the other door of the drawing room to depart with the dishes, that sort of thing. She's kind of facing the door, the entryway to the drawing room, and she's about to close the door as you guys walk in.
So we'll call out to her. We probably want to question her, right? So we'll call out to her and say, Madam, we have a word?
Yeah, Edna said that she was one of the people who would have had access to the kids.
Right. So we definitely want to talk to her.
That's right. You guys shared that. That's right. So she stops and she nods and you wish to talk with me?
Yes, please.
Of course, my lord. And so she comes back in and she's kind of looking back and forth for a place to put the tray, and she finds a coffee table and or not a coffee table but an end table, and gently sets it down. She kind of looks back and forth there first, but then like kind of shifts the tray over to one hand and then lays down her one of the napkins that's in her apron and then puts the tray on top of it. And then she turns back and she has her hands folded modestly in front of her, and she nods. She's probably like let's see here. She's about 5'6", 5'7". She's not very tall at all. She's a slip of a girl, probably in her late teens. She's got blonde hair that's been tied back in a tight bun, and she's got the typical maid's outfit that's on. It goes down to the ankles, and she's got sturdy shoes and one of those little, I forget what's that called, not a bonnet, but the one that helps keep the hair back. It's not a hairnet.
A wimple?
A wimple, there you go. I will always lean on you guys for the proper terminologies, and I appreciate it. So she stands there and she says, how may I be of service?
So I think we'll just start by asking her, so what can you tell us about these the children that have gone missing?
Oh, well, Henrietta and Michael, they're delightful children. They've been ever so nice to me. I tend to their bathing, and I tend to their studies in the evening after they have finished with their schooling and their tutor has left. And I will tend to I will tend to tucking them in the evenings when they go to bed. When of course when Mr. and Mrs. Doyle are not available, they're ever so busy. But I don't understand where they could have gone.
I'll jump in with. When was the last time you actually saw them?
Oh, it would have been It would have been earlier this morning, I believe. Yes, earlier this morning. I had errands to run. I needed to go to the market and provide supplies for this evening's meal. But it was this morning, yes.
Was there anything out of the ordinary there?
Oh, with the children, you say?
With the children, with the place where the children were, any kind of value would help us out immensely.
And who had charge of the children when you left?
Well, they seemed quite cheerful in the morning. They normally are. They're early risers, those. But I don't recall anything odd. They were with their tutor, Professor Smythe, and they were with them. They were with him. Yes.
I'm gonna look to the dwarf and be like, Doctor, do you know this man?
Do I know this man?
Professor Smythe.
Professor.
Would I be familiar with him from any of my academic circles?
Let's see here. Let me take a quick gander at your character sheet, Doctor. Let's have a look, shall we? I don't know. General knowledge, possibly. Sorry, I'm just kind of giving it a quick scan here. Let me take a look at what your research skill, possibly. I can maybe leverage that. Let's do this. Let's have you roll your research skill, and have that rolled alongside your wits. I think it's already a wits skill, or a wits attribute, but I'll have you roll it with that.
Okay.
And it's going to be a three black die difficulty. A little bit tough.
So this would represent that I would have known him from research circles, or are we just kind of using this as a general purpose?
Kind of general purpose, but it's possible that might be kind of where we're going with it.
And 3 black dice, you say?
Correct.
Ooh.
That is a whole lot of successes.
Yeah, it is.
That is a
Two
whole lot.
black die. But...
Dr. Loom knows many people. He does not like them, but he knows them.
I am forced to deal with them on occasion. So yeah, wow, that was a couple of nice re-rolled 6s. That's pretty cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 minus, so 3 total. I did the math right. I'm not going to do a math tree or anything like that. I'm going to go with that.
Not a hypothetical math.
No, negative. Negative goes right here. The pattern is full. All right, so you've heard of Professor Smythe. He's a human who hails from Wales. Who also has a research degree in Egyptology. He's done some work there, so he's been known to do really good translations of ancient languages. And the reason that you've crossed paths with him is because you had found an old dialect of Latin that you needed a translation on a couple words because there was multiple meanings and you wanted to get a final word on what it was. He was an unremarkable man, but then again, most people are unremarkable when compared to Dr. Loom. But the one rumor that you have heard about is that he is financially, he's not destitute, but he's taken on tutoring as a way to supplement his earnings at the school. And I don't know which school he goes to. We'll have to come up with that later, but a school.
Professors.
So Dr. Loom will get the central aspects of that knowledge out to the rest of the group. And yes, he's a Welsh gentleman, passable historian. I suspect that tutoring children probably would be an acceptable challenge for him.
Sorry. That's funny. I always like to hear him talk.
I know, right? It's great.
So good. let's see here. Can I have? Well, what are the rest of you guys doing? As the question, Dove's been asking questions, and then you had Dr. Loom presented a question or given a question to
I
Dr.
chimed
Loom.
in with one, but that's all.
Miranda has one. Who else?
far.
Anybody else has anything that they want to ask her or something they want to
I would
do?
ask her as a follow-up, how long has Professor Smythe been the tutor?
Yeah.
And when was the last time that they were tutored?
Well, it was this morning. He arrives Monday through Friday, and on some occasions he will come in on Saturdays for exceptionally difficult math lessons. But he was here this morning. I'm so sorry. What was the other question?
How long has he been the tutor?
How long? He's been tutoring. He was tutoring Henrietta before Michael could learn his letters. So he's been with us for roughly 8 years.
Quite a while.
A regular in the house, then.
Oh yes, we.
And could you provide us with a way to get in touch with him, please?
Oh, I suppose. I suppose yes. I would need to check with. I would need to check with Milady first.
I'll jump in and again trying to work the charm. I mean, like every moment we're here waiting for permission is another moment that those children are not home. We only wish to help them. Any information you can give us means that we're going to find them that much sooner.
And Miranda would kind of lean forward and kind of in a very friendly and kind of comforting way. The mistress has hired us to find the children and has given us, the authority and permission to seek them out. So any help that you can provide, I'm sure she would approve of.
Oh, that would explain why you're here altogether. Yes,
we are here at her request.
Well, I suppose it wouldn't harm anything. I can get you an address if that would help.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful.
So as she's doing that, or as she's saying that, Monsieur Joyeux, you've been kind of quiet. What are you doing?
I think while they're talking to the servantry, I'm more looking around the place because I do kind of want to stretch some of my stat muscles. I've got a deduction, research, lore.
Okay. All right. How do you want to apply that? So you're looking around the room a little bit. I'm just sure you're probably taking her in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I figure just this room for now.
Okay.
I'm looking at the furniture a bit, but I'm looking more for anything that might be out of place in a high society home.
Okay.
Like any kind of marks of unusual activity or anything like that.
Okay.
I think we still need to look at the children's room as well. We haven't done that yet. So
yeah, that's definitely another place I want to look. But seeing as we're here right now, I figure this might be a good place to start.
Okay. Sounds good.
All
so
right.
you're using, what was it, deduction that you're using, or what are you?
Let's use deduction because I've got 2 in that.
Okay. So
And,
let's
actually
for our folks
we'll,
at
look
home.
up the
That's
look
kind
up
of what
the
I was
guy-
doing actually too.
yeah.
So deduction. This is the art of taking inconclusive evidence and leaping to a non-obvious yet logical, if improbable, conclusion. You gain a +1 dice bonus to any perception, research, or science rolls made during the course of investigating a crime or a crime scene. You may take this talent multiple times, gaining +1 each time you do. I am the final judge of how this bonus can be applied. However, you may also allow a wits plus deduction roll to discover a new clue in your investigation. So it'd be your wits that you would use along with that.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So you do your perception plus wits plus your deduction. And let's see what happens. Now, I'll give you,
So
let's see,
deception
just because this was,
2 plus 2, so 6 dice.
and then
Is
I'm
there
going to
anything else
give
you're
you,
giving me, or?
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 2 black dice difficulty on this
All
one.
right. Let's see if I can actually do this.
You can use the skill test one. That one is probably your
Yes,
best
there we
bet.
are. So, 2, 2 black, right?
Yep, 2 black dice. You got it.
Nice.
All right, so wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Oh my gosh, you rolled 2 ones, so 2 black dice.
Oh.
Well, both your dice, but that's still, you got 2 successes, so that's decent. That's not too shabby. Okay, so looking around the room, it's kind of like so. Describe what this looks like. Are we talking kind of like, kind of as a touchstone for pretty much everybody who's seen Sherlock? Is it something kind of like that, where you're kind of zooming in on stuff, or is it? How does this work for Monsieur Joyeux?
I think it's more like not so much like kind of drawing pieces together rather than focusing on a single thing.
Okay.
Like, how does this connect to that? How does this connect to that?
Right. Okay. Okay, so I'm
If
gonna
that
give
makes
you.
any visual sense.
No, it totally does. It totally does. So I'm gonna make. Actually, I'm gonna ask Dr. Loom the ticket that you found from Hong Kong. Did you mention that to anybody, or is that something you're just kind of keeping to yourself for now?
No, I would have mentioned it.
Okay. So for some reason, your eye kind of drifts towards that ticket, or at least the spot where the ticket is, because it was under a couple of sets of papers and actually a paperweight that looks like a little, those jade lions that are carved from China. That's kind of like being used as a paperweight of all things, but that was there. And so you see the corner of that Aerostat ticket, and for some reason your eye kind of goes. It's almost kind of like following the golden section of a painting as you're kind of like moving your way out towards the mantelpiece. And on the mantle you see what looks to be a carving of a small jade dragon. It's only about yay high, so like maybe half a foot, that sort of thing. But as you look at it, you're noticing that it unbalances the mantelpiece. So like there's like other carvings, there's other things that are there. There's a small ivory. There's a small tusk. There's like a trimmed tusk that's been carved, scrimshaw, that's been carved in there. There's a couple of what looks to be urns that are there, but they're a lot smaller than what you would typically see as a human size urn. It's actually a small urn. And by human size meaning that you'd fit all the remains of a human in there. But then it's just paired up, symmetry, right? Yeah. But then all of a sudden on the far right hand side there's that dragon, this little jade dragon that's there. It's and then the other thing that you pick up on this, so that's the first thing you notice, the first connection. The second thing you notice is that it looks like it's got scratches on it. Like it's been handled a lot. It's been, it might have been dropped. Like one of the little ears on the dragon is broken off. So it's definitely been handled, misused, whatever you want to call it. And as you're looking over there, something catches your eye over here. So this is the last thing you'll notice is that you look back over, and for some reason, Carolyn is looking right at you when you look back, and it's kind of a fearful look in her eye. But then as soon as you meet eyes with her, she looks down, and she's like, it looks like she's going back to trying to remember an address, that sort of thing. So
what is this spot? What does the opposite spot on the mantle look like from the jade dragon?
It's empty. The corner part is empty right there. It doesn't look like there's anything.
Does it sound like?
I'm sorry?
Is there any signs that there would have been something there before?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. If it in the mechanics of the game, if you had gotten more successes, you might be able to tell. But I mean, without going over there and just purposely looking right at it, if you want to do that, then you can totally do that if you want.
But Carolyn might also see that you're going to randomly walk over there and start staring at the thing.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that. Well, the decor obviously doesn't come as a surprise. I mean, the reason, or at least the reason I was given by Mrs. Doyle to come here is to Siri, shut up.
Bad Siri.
The reason basically was basically suggested that I look at some artifacts that had been brought over from Hong Kong, China, East Asian area. I don't remember what exactly her specifics were, but to check out some things that Mr. Doyle had brought in over, possibly with the suggestion to ensure they're not haunted.
Okay. All right. That is.
But so none of these things are coming as a surprise. But the fact that the little guy over there is kind of beaten up and yet still on this mantle, it's like, why would such a thing be on the mantle when it completely doesn't fit in?
Right. So is that something you want to ask, or are you?
I'm thinking there was another one. I'm thinking it was a pair, and I'm thinking the other one is missing for a reason. A reason that our Miss Caroline might know that. Okay.
All right. Let's see here then. So how do you want to apply said theory?
Well, comment about the decor can't hurt, at least, to get the ball rolling.
Right.
You know,
very
something
true.
rather offhand to Caroline. I must say, your mistress's taste in decor is how do you say it here? Exquisite.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll bring over a picture of her real quick. Just finding something that we could use.
Well, while you're doing that, nice work on exquisite.
Very nice, very nice.
And just
He
to
tries
throw
his
in,
best.
if Dr. Loom had mentioned noticing that Aerostat ticket, that it had been to or from Hong Kong, either way, that definitely would have got Miranda's attention.
Okay.
I don't know what she would have done necessarily, but she would be paying more attention to those kind of details if he had mentioned them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what would you want to do with that information there, Miss Russell?
Well, I have questions based on Monsieur Joyeux's questions at this point, but I don't know those yet. So,
Okay. All right, that's cool.
Well, what I could do is, if I know Miss Russell for like 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be completely out of the pale for me to be able to like try and like kind of head over to looking at the at that little jade dragon.
So the question is, would I be perceptive enough to
look over here?
Let's see here. Let's see.
So what sort of skills could we apply to such a thing?
Exactly. I'm guessing I'm scrolling through real quick. Let's see what we got here.
So let's see here. We could do.
I got great language skills, let me tell you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I've got just the regular perception. Anything else I have streetwise?
Maybe concealing your.
I do. I have conceal.
Yeah. I was looking at that one.
The same
too.
as perception, as far as ability level goes.
Right.
Unless I would want to use wits. I've got 3 dice and wits.
Yeah, I was-
although the conceal might be more on my end,
Right,
so
right.
it's
I don't.
not conspicuous, and she might be more interpreting what I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's
point
kind of
out.
what I was thinking too. Is that you could use a conceal, and
So
then
I need roll too,
Maybe she
right?
can use act.
Act might help.
It's like charades at this point.
Actually, you know what? That's not bad. We could always, again, kind of borrowing a burning wheel term, we could always fork that in to the skill test. So, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So, Monsieur Joyeux, why don't you go ahead and roll up a conceal, and go ahead and bring in your dice for acting.